So hi, my name is Nadine and I'm a director with Bright Conferences. So yeah, we're more connected today than we ever were before, whether it's through our smartphones, through the computer at our desk, or through our TVs. We're constantly dealing with our online presence, and this is fantastic because we are getting the opportunity to meet people we would have never necessarily met before across the country, across the region, and even beyond that. The great thing about live events is that it brings a physical dimension to that online presence of ours and gives us an opportunity to meet up with that colleague we've been emailing for the past 6 months, or put a face to a Twitter profile. So what we're finding is that more and more organizations are turning to live events as a way of reaching out to their friends, fans, and clients. And it's actually reaching a point where uh, live events makes our digital presence much more relevant. So Bright is actually a conference agency, which means that we support our clients in rolling out conferences and other knowledge-based events. Now, this could be through a full project, so starting an event from A to Z, or even just supporting a client with some small aspects here and there. We often find that there's this misunderstanding that you would only hire an event manager or a conference agency if you've got a whole event to outsource, and that's not necessarily the case. We actually often find that clients are quite keen to hold on to one or two aspects of the process because they feel they've got a competency in that area. It could be marketing or program development or speaker recruitment, any part of it. So what we do is we'd actually sit down with our clients from the start and look at which aspects they'd like to hold on to and which they'd like to outsource. At the end of the day, every organization is different, have different needs, different skills, and different goals. And we feel that it's very important for us to be able to understand what those needs are and to fit into the processes of our clients to be able to support them better in developing a successful conference. Right, well, here at Bright Conferences, we basically have a three-step approach to each of our projects: plan, create, and execute. And what we do is, in the first process, so that's the planning phase, is outline everything that needs to happen within the rest of the project. So we'd put together a scope, we'd outline all the tasks that need to happen, put together deadlines, budgets, and basically create a roadmap of what needs to happen to develop a successful conference. The creation phase is acting on the plan, so getting all the tasks that we've outlined initially and actually implementing them. And the execution phase is basically running the conference on the day or days accordingly. It's really important for us to make sure that, of course, all the delegates are satisfied and have had a good time, but it's also really important to make sure that all the stakeholders, including the client, is also enjoying that day. So we place a big emphasis in the execution part as much as the planning. If there was one tip I had to pass on, would definitely be to make sure you've got clear goals from the start of the project. I've seen many clients putting together conferences just for the sake of running a conference, and that does not necessarily yield great results. It's really important to make sure that you've got clear goals that are measurable and tangible, and that you communicate them to all the stakeholders that are involved, whether it's your boss or your sponsors or even your participants to a certain extent. The reason is that the goals you set at the beginning form the backbone of the whole process, and they will influence the decisions you take as you go along. Putting together a conference to yield a substantial profit, for example, is going to be very different to putting together a conference that educates your clients. The decisions you take are going to be different one from the other. So it's really important to have those goals outlined from the start and to make sure you communicate them effectively to all the stakeholders involved in the project.